Alright, this is my second one of these, and this one's called Kaiju number 8. We open on a giant monster towering above the city, and we learn that this is Kaiju country, Japan, leading the world in the number of Kaiju incidents. But before the monster can continue its rampage, its eye starts to roll in the back of its head, and blood spills from it. It crumples on top of the city. It's left laying lifeless on top of crumpled buildings. As the life leaves its eyes, we see a young woman holding a giant rifle, looking at the monster. And as that young woman looks at the monster, a man is eating what looks to be like a hamburger, holding binoculars, looking at her and the monster. And we get a better look at that man who is eating and looking at the woman. It's not just him alone, it's a whole team, and they look like they're dressed in hazmat outfits. And they're saying, well, looks like we'll have to work overtime today. And they disperse to get to work. That same young woman that took down that giant kaiju is walking through a city of people cheering for her. And we get a news report telling people of the kaiju's defeat and that they need to leave the danger zone and to continue to watch out for auxiliary kaiju. And then we cut to the same men who are in hazmat outfits getting blood splattered all over their face. He turns away and raises his protective visor and says, "It's no use. The skeleton's so tough, I can't cut through. I need the heat chainsaw." Ooh, heat chainsaw, that's pretty cool. But as the man turns, he sees one of his crewmates lowering what looks like to be one of the monster's organs. And he says, "Don't lower that just yet. If you mess with it too much, it'll..." And just like that, it explodes in his teammate's face. And we learn that even after the monster is unalived, the battle isn't over. The secret battle begins here, the cleanup crew. It looks like what was ever in that organ was acidic, because the man who got caught in the explosion, his leg is starting to melt. That man is carried away on a stretcher. And we learn that this team that's also risking their life and their health, there are no applauses for them. There are no thank yous for them. They are the ones that battle from the shadows against the kaiju. There's a gigantic 2-page spread of the kaiju's face looming over them. And they wonder, are they even going to be able to finish this within a week? And our main character is now forced to change positions. A spot just opened up. And he asks, in which area? And the man tells him, the intestines. Our main character makes a face of fear and surprise. He is then dragged away, screaming, "I don't want to!" And his friend says, "My condolences." Two men talk about how awful intestine duty is, and what horrible things you'll find in the monster's guts. We are now brought to the intestines. It's so bad that the scenery is even withheld with a mosaic sensor. I didn't do this, it was so bad the manga did it. Our main character then proceeds to spray down the kaiju. The long day is over. And our main character comes home, throws his keys on the table, and collapses into bed because he is tired. And the horrible smells are lingering in his nose. And just then, the TV comes to life and says, "A special feature on the 3rd Division." And it shows the young woman that took down the kaiju. We learn that she's 27 years old, and that her name is Ashiro. Seeing her face causes our MC to have a flashback. Looks like the MC and that young woman used to be friends, and they made a vow that together that they will exterminate the kaiju. And he wonders, I wonder why I'm on this side. He freaks out and he tries to forget about that. He also thinks to himself, cleanup is a pretty important job. I've got a decent apartment and I can eat whatever I want. That should be enough for anybody. We get an overhead shot of the professional kaiju cleanup corp, Monster Sweeper. Our main character goes into work, but he's nursing a wicked hangover from the other day. There's a new guy starting today. He's a part-timer, and he says he wants to join the defense corps. And our poor MC, we learned that he also tried a long time ago, but he gave up and now he's become an old-timer. And our MC says, thinks to himself, wow, this guy is the worst. He jokingly says, "You're gonna scare the kid away." The kid asks, why? The kid says, why? Why did you give up? Our main character goes, well, I gave it my best, but everyone's got a limit, you know. And I realized the extent of my capabilities, I guess. And when you get older, you'll understand what I mean. And the kid says, no, I won't. I won't ever give up. So even if I die, I won't understand. The kid says, I don't want to understand either. And he goes to get changed. And our main character thinks to himself, damn, that's so unfair. I look bad no matter how I responded to that. Is giving up really such a terrible thing? Alright, let's get started. The cleanup crew is given their assignments, and the new guy unfortunately gets intestine duty. And our main character is elated because he gets, a little bit of comeuppance, finally, for putting him in a bad spot like that. But unfortunately, he also gets intestine duty too, and it's 2 days in a row. Our main character, in a bit of rage, lets off some steam by spraying down the monster, but his superior takes it as he has a really good attitude about all of this. Since he got used to it, he's become a good team member. After all of that hard work, the cleanup crew finally gets a break. It looks like cleaning the intestines got to the new guy. He can't even eat his lunch. Our main character throws him a little pack of something. He says, take it. You gotta force down what you can, else you won't last until the afternoon. The new guy says that he doesn't need it. The main character also says, take these too, and shoves them up his nose. It'll help with the stench. He tries to force the earplugs up his nose, and everyone looks on as those two fight. Our day comes to an end, and they get a good work everybody, and a thank you. And the crew begin to take their leave. Except for our main character, he lingers a little bit. And he says, well, I think we've got past the nastiest part at least. The new guy also hangs back a little bit, and our main character says, good work. And the new guy tells our main character, I was able to get through my first day here, with your help. Thank you. Surprised, our main character says, yeah. And the new guy walks off and says, that was it, I'll get going now. And he says, also, they've raised the age of recruitment for members of the Defense Corps to 33 years. It's because of the declining birth rates. It's your life, and it's none of my business. But you look pretty sad when you were talking about how you gave up earlier. And as the kid walks away, he continues, no, for real, it's all the same to me. So if I misunderstood you, then feel free to just give up. Later, our main character says to the kid, thanks. You're a much better guy than I thought you were. The kid turns around, blushing. I'm telling you, that's not what I'm... Oh, it looks like he's a tsundere. Ooh. And just before he's able to finish that sentence, a giant-faced kaiju explodes from the ground and goes after the kid. The kaiju then starts to eat the kid whole. But just before the kaiju can chomp down on the kid, our main character lunges and pushes him out of the way. The kaiju then lunges at the both of them again. They both barely dodge out of the way. Our main character says, run, get away from here with everything you've got. Once you're somewhere safe, please make a report. The kid shouts back, but senpai, by yourself, you'll... And the main character says, it wouldn't make a difference, even with the two of us. He tells the kid, you're joining the corpse, right? You can't be deceased here. The kid is shocked, and then he looks down and makes a break for it. Our main character is then left alone to fend for himself, only with a pipe in his hand, the giant kaiju looming over him. He thinks to himself, damn, there's really nothing I can do here. The kaiju then takes a swing at him, and it sends him flying, and he takes some damage to his torso. As he's sent flying, he thinks, shite, how did it end up like this? And it makes him reminisce about when he was a kid with the young girl. We learn that the kaijus destroyed everything for them. Their house, their school, everything's been smashed to bits. And our main character shouts, I'll never forgive you, kaijus. The kaijus even got their calico cat. And they both say at the same time, I'm going to join the Defense Corps. They even make it a contest to see who'll become the cooler corps member. Together, they'll exterminate the kaiju. We are brought back to present day. The kaiju's hand smashing down on something. We learn that the hand smashed down on our main character's leg, destroying it in the process. He thinks to himself, it wasn't supposed to be like this. The kaiju looms over him, spit dripping from its ugly face. It opens its mouth and goes in for the final blow. But just before it could deliver that final blow, the kid comes running back, delivering a good shot to the monster's head with a street sign. The main character wonders why he came back. The kid said he made the report, and the main character says, that's not what I meant. And the kid says, if I left you behind here and ran away, there's no way I could join the Defense Corps. And our main character thinks to himself, shite, I'm so powerless. Nothing's changed at all. Whether it's my game console or my friend's cat, or a single junior of mine, I can't protect any of them. Shite. But before the monster can do them in, giant holes are blown through its body. The kaiju's body is quickly and swiftly eviscerated, chunks flying everywhere, its eyeball even dislodged from its head. We hear a voice. The target has been destroyed. One injured body sighted. It's the beautiful young woman. It's the Japanese Defense Corps. She says, we'll now proceed to rescue. It's Captain Ashiro Mina. Our main character is struck silent. The young woman, who knows our main character, says, I'll leave the injured body to you. The rest of you follow my lead. We'll sweep the area for auxiliary kaiju. One of the corps members then proceeds to deliver medical help to our main character. And we cut to the Yokohama South General Hospital. Our main character and the kid are in the hospital, nursing their wounds. And he thinks, Mina sure is amazing. Something terrifying like that, in just a moment? She's really gone somewhere completely out of my reach. The kid then tells our main character, I'd have died out there today if you hadn't helped me. You were really cool out there. And the kid says, yeah, you really should become a member of the Defense Corps. Well, that's your choice anyway. It's all the same to me. And our MC says, you're right. Just how long am I going to pretend to not be watching? Thanks, you really were a good guy. I'm gonna try joining the Defense Corps one more time. And just then, our main character's cut off. A smaller kaiju that looks like a mix of a horse and maybe a fly is hovering over the main character. And he says, And the kaiju says, found you. And before our character can even react, the kaiju lunges for his mouth, flies into it, and goes down his throat. The kid, hearing all of this, throws back the curtain to check if he's okay. But the kid isn't greeted by our main character. He sees a humanoid kaiju, a boned face, jet black body, and smoke coming from him. The kid says, huh? And the kaiju says, huh? And the kaiju looks in a mirror. Both the main character and the kid turn to each other and say, huh? Our main character, now in his kaiju form, says, it's me, I'm telling you. And he says, please stop backing away. An old man, who happened to be walking down the hospital's hallway, is also struck with fear and whips out his phone to call for help. Both of them turn to the old man and see him making a report on them. The kid turns to the main character and says, let's make a run for it. That was Kaiju number 9. I've read pretty far ahead in this one and it's really cool. We get a lot of cool designs and monster fights. If you're into that thing, check this one out. I'm going to keep reading it to you guys probably, unless people tell me to stop reading this one. I don't know, but I like it so far. Please, can you please help me out by liking, comment, and subscribing. It'll really and truly help the channel out.